Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and today I'm doing a rapid fire review for Ancient Empires from Arcona Games. Rapid fire reviews are a format on the channel where I attempt to give you a brief overview of a game, as well as my thoughts and opinions in 10 minutes or less. Sometimes I make it, and sometimes I don't. Before we start, first of all, this is a prototype, all rules and components of the exchange. I'll have a link to the crowdfunding campaign down below, and also, this channel is currently sponsored by Allplay, more about them at the end of the video. In Ancient Empires, you're going to be playing it across 3 ages. In each age is going to be 2 rounds, and the general idea of this is an action programming abstracted Civ game, or 4X, but I don't know if it's the full 4, it's not the full 4X's. A 3X game of action programming across 6 rounds, 3 ages. The way that's going to work is in each age you're going to be placing down 3 of your order tokens. All the players have handfuls of order tokens, and you're going to be placing them onto various areas of the map based on the civilization you want to affect. Over here we have these 3 sides over here, these 3 civs, so I may take a token and say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and place this down, I'm going to place it down here in order to move. Although, you will hopefully be placing those face down to kind of, obfuscate what it is you are trying to do. When you place a token down, you're going to first of all be determining where you're impacting. So this token can impact the green zone here. If I place it on this multicolor zone, then I could impact either of the zones, one or the other, not both. But additionally, you're going to get the benefit on the little token over here right away as soon as you place down the token. So for example, I can add a unit to the board. If I did this, I could harvest over here, I could attack, or I could move depending on which of those bonuses I take. So you're both taking an immediate action right away, which again has to affect the region you're placed it in, but you're also setting yourself up to resolve. Once all the tokens are resolved, players are going to resolve them from this little marker over here. You're going to go clockwise around the board, well, clockwise at first, but it will be changing, clockwise around the board, resolving all the order tokens in the region, as players primarily attempt to move around, grow, buy technology cards, all these various things as they attempt to gain influence on the board. There's a whole bunch of other things going on though in the game, because first of all, and then again, this is a rapid fire review, I'm not giving you a full rules overview. Players will have 2 civilizations that they start with. You'll be picking one of them at the end of the first age. At the end of those first 2 rounds, you'll be picking one of these to be your civilization, gaining a benefit from those. You're also going to have technology cards. These technology cards are going to give you a variety of perks. They're also going to help you move up on these tracks depending on the technology cards that you have. So you'll see these various icons. You're going to see those in a variety of areas from here, from your civilization card, from the various city-states that you have in each of these regions. Those will help you move up on these tracks. You want to try to get up there as fast as possible for the points and the other benefits. Speaking of the city-states, as you have control in these regions, you're going to be moving up on these city-states, again, gaining various perks on the track, as well as these other benefits as you go along. And then, of course, there's the wonders, which will unlock in the 3rd age. These wonders, again, will help you move up the tracks. They're going to cost a variety of resources and give you a bunch of benefits. So you have a whole bunch of different things happening. You have your city-states, your civilizations, that's your faction. You have your technologies and your wonders, and, of course, the other players that you have to deal with. That is basically what's happening in Ancient Empires, or at least the general rules overview. So, let's go ahead and dive into this, starting with the first question. Am I keeping this game? I am not. Why or why not? Ancient Empires works in a lot of ways. We'll talk about the ways it works shortly, because I do that as well, but the main reason this is not a game that I feel the need to keep as much is it falls into that weird zone that I have found other games fall into, where it's not necessarily small enough to be a quick box experience, but it doesn't feel grand to be a larger experience that I want to sit down and dedicate game night to. I find this falls into that tiny, it's not a tiny epic game, it's not a tiny epic box, but it does feel like a tiny epic game, which is a genre, a series, that I've never particularly resonated with, because I always find that they are the tiny part I don't mind. I love small box games. Epic games I don't mind either. I love big box games. I find when a game is trying to almost give you a big experience in a smaller box or a smaller form or even game time, I find those usually straddle the line a little bit. It's not as satisfying for me as a full game night, but it's not as easy or accessible as a small filler game. And as much as Ancient Empires works, there's a lot of things that I do enjoy about it, I find it falls into that spot that makes it not necessarily a game for me. It's tiny, epic action programming, but in a larger box with more going on. As far as other games that you might want to check out, first of all, there's Age of Civilization. That's going to be a small box game that I do find falls into that slightly smaller box range if you find yourself being similar to myself. Additionally, there's also Battle for Rokugan. If you want a similar action programming game that feels a bit more grand, Battle for Rokugan is kind of Game of Thrones adjacent, but very much focusing on those hidden action selection, action programming aspects of the game. As far as a counter opinion, why might this game be for you? First of all, Tiny Epic is a very popular series with a lot of people. If you enjoy Tiny Epic games, I do feel that, personally speaking, I got very much the same vibes from Ancient Empires as I did from Tiny Epic games. That they do give you a lot of game in a small form factor while managing to do a lot, but feeling a little bit less grand than a full-on Blood Rage type experience. So overall, if you like Tiny Epic games, this already might be for you. As far as the things I enjoyed about it, first of all, the dynamic board over here. This board does start off with a preset board, so you can just dive straight into it. But if you do want to mix things up, you can mix up all the things and the resources produced from the various icons around the board. There's a lot of variability to the actual map you're playing on. That's not to mention the variability you're going to get from the technologies, the wonders, the city-states, and the civilizations you have. That's a lot of different things all combining. Those technologies are always fun to buy technologies and improve your board. You can only hold 5 until you need to discard one to make room for others. The wonders are incredibly strong over there, but you have to work your way, prep up for them, because nothing can be doing the first 2 ages. The spreading around the board is fairly friendly. It's one of those games that definitely has some degree of fighting, but overall it's more about the area control than it is about the conquest, and I do enjoy that in the game system. And the city-states and civilizations, all of these things combine to give you a lot of different, again, it really is a epic experience, but it's not, and I hesitate to say tiny, it's not a tiny box. It's an epic game experience on a smaller scale, so to speak. I don't know if I'm explaining that as well, but there really are a lot of things that overall work together to give you, and of course the action programming, the idea of that blind action programming. If you do enjoy games, you have to plan out what's going to happen, but you might have to watch and resolve how other players get in the way, or you might be the one getting in the way of other players. This definitely has that kind of experience in a fairly accessible time frame, a game that does not outstay its welcome. As far as final thoughts on Ancient Empires, again, I overall enjoyed this. I really find that, to me, like, this is one of those things where it might not make as much sense to you unless you're similar to myself in this way, because this game checks a lot of boxes. It works well. It has a lot of, I really enjoy variability in a game. I enjoy powers and abilities, and again, those 4 different factions, city-states, civilizations, wonders, and technologies, all those combine to really give a lot of different things happening on the board in different ways that the game plays out, and I usually enjoy that thing a lot, and to be fair, I enjoyed it over here. That thing I can't kind of shake is that tiny epic feeling, which is most Tiny Epic games I have enjoyed. They all work well on paper, and at the end of it, I find they fall into that weird middle zone for me. If you resonate with that, this might not be as much for you. If you don't resonate with that, this very well might be for you, because it really does work in all the things that it's doing. Overall, I'm going to come in at a 3.5 out of 5. It definitely gave a good experience, definitely a solid game that mixes a lot of elements and does so in a very easy to learn, easy to play factor. It just hits those, again, those Tiny Epic notes for me. I feel I've said Tiny Epic way too many times in this review, but like, that's really where I'm landing on this one. As far as Allplay, our channel sponsor, I mentioned at the beginning, so if you go to allplay.com, you can check out a variety of games from both Allplay as well as their partner publishers. For this one, I'm going to mention Lords of Valor. Lords of Valor also has that action programming aspect. If you want to check that out, if you like the idea of dragons, dragon riders, and possibly synergizing and teaming up with the other players, that's definitely going to give you that kind of action programming aspect with a strong twist to it. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Hope you found this video helpful, and as always, I hope you have a good one.